Why was Korea divided into two parts? More than 70 years have passed since the division of Korea into North and South Korea. For centuries before this division, North and South Korea were a unified country, which had the same culture, the same language was spoken, and the whole country was ruled by one party or say one family. But Korea's independence has always been a question mark. Sometimes China called it its property, considered it as its territory, and sometimes Korea was occupied by Japan. This land has also become a hotbed of numerous proxy wars. In today's video, we will tell you the reason for the division of Korea into North and South Korea, and will also tell how the internal conditions of the two countries are after partition and why the people there are completely different from each other. Korea is actually a peninsula located in the far east of the Pacific Ocean. That means there is water on three sides and land on one side. This island borders Japan on one side and China on the other. After the Russo-Japanese War in 1955, Korea was occupied by Japan. Korea was controlled by Japan for 35 years. But then, at the end of World War II, Korea was divided into two parts. The division of Korea was actually a result of the ongoing Cold War between two competing superpowers, the Soviet Union and the United States. As you know that Korea was occupied by Japan before World War II, now because Japan had been defeated in World War II, the question arose as to who would occupy Korea. America had won the war. Therefore, America could assert his right over Korea. But historically, Japan had won Korea in a war with Soviet Russia, so Soviet Russia wanted to declare it as its territory. So the division of Korea between the two superpowers was also part of their ongoing Cold War. Neither wanted to withdraw from Korea. So the result of this tug-of-war was the division of Korea. A historian, Professor Michael Robinson, says that the division of Korea was made by mutual agreement between the Soviet Union and the United States, while no leader or representative from the Korean side was involved in this decision. In other words, the two superpower claimants divided a country into two parts, and the people there, far from any leader and representative, were not included in this decision. However, something happened that the agreement between the United States and the Soviet Union divided Korea in August 1945. Now after this partition, it was the turn of these two countries to form a government. Geographically, if you look at the map, the border of North Korea is with China, so there were more communist supporters, so in the next 3 years, the Soviet army and its supporters formed a communist government in North Korea. While the area of South Korea, which was under the influence of the United States, a military government was established there. This government was directly supported by the United States. Apparently, North Korea had a lot of Soviet supporters, and their communist policies were popular among the masses. But still, a large number of middle-class workers and peasants chose to go to South Korea rather than stay in North Korea. That is why even today the population of South Korea is more than that of North Korea. According to the data of 2019, the population of South Korea is double that of North Korea. The population of North Korea is 2.5 million, while the population of South Korea is more than 52 million. In the 50s, a civil war broke out on the island of Korea. That is, North Korea and South Korea took up arms against each other. The reason behind this fight was which part represented the real Korea. South Koreans people used to say we are Korean, while North Korea wanted to declare itself as the original Korea. The civil war lasted 3 years and killed at least 2.5 million Koreans. During this war, America bombed the towns, villages, and cities in the northern part. As a result of this war, almost every city was destroyed, causing massive loss of life and property. But it did not benefit anyone, because when the war ended in 1953, the division between the two parts was the same as before the war. But one thing that happened as a result of this war is that now a demilitarized zone has been created between the two sides. This zone separated the two parts of Korea. A parallel line of 38 degrees was drawn between the two parts. Because South Korea was under the US and the US military was also present here. Therefore, South Korea had excellent relations with the West. South Korea developed a stable economy. And in recent decades, South Korea has been on the way to becoming a fully democratic country. While North Korea, on the other hand, is the exact opposite. North Korea has an isolated dynastic monarchy. It has been a single-family dictatorship since independence. The first supreme leader of North Korea was Kim Il-sung, who became the supreme leader in 1948 and remained in this position till his death, that is, 1994. After his death, his son Kim Jong became the supreme leader, and then, after his death, Kim Jong-un is now the supreme leader of South Korea. Thus, this third generation of the same family is ruling North Korea after independence. Now let us tell you how the supreme leaders of both countries led their people after the division of North Korea and South Korea and the current situation of both countries. So if we talk about the current North and South Korea, these two are completely different from each other. North Korea is the most isolated foreign country in the modern world. Even in this modern era of social media in the global world, North Korea is far from the reach of international media. The strict laws do not allow even a single news of the country to come out. And they don't let outside news reach their people. Think of North Korea as a huge prison in which 25 million people have been imprisoned. All decisions are taken by the supreme leadership without any public involvement. Even in North Korea, people cannot get their own haircut. Because people do not have complete freedom, there is no concept of external ideas like democracy and liberalism. North Koreans cannot even travel abroad without the dictator's permission. Not even to get an education. For this, they have to take special permission from the government, which no one gets except those whom the government itself wants to deport. One cannot even freely come to Korea from abroad. Only those allowed by the North Korean dictatorial government under its own terms can come. There are so many strange laws in North Korea, but the most important thing is that you can't even take a picture of yourself there. In North Korea, you can only click photos that are allowed by the guards there. And another interesting thing is that the statues of the supreme leaders installed there, if you want to take a picture of them, you have to take a picture of the whole statue, you can't crop the picture, and if you don't follow these rules, there is a law to imprison you. This happens in reality. An American has spent years in a North Korean prison for breaking similar rules. There is no internet in North Korea, books cannot come from outside, no one can talk on the phone outside the country. If someone is caught with a phone, they are even sentenced to death for treason according to the law. Military service comes first in North Korea. North Korea's pride is its army and nothing else. And the army also knows only how to throw bombs. Nothing more than that. North Korea's total population is 25 million, but its army is the fourth largest in the world, with 13 million active soldiers. They are 5% of the total population, while more than 600,000 people serve as reserve soldiers. By 2016, North Korea's pro-military force numbered just under 6 million, or 25% of North Korea's population. If all this military power is combined, North Korea has about 77 million soldiers to fight. This number is a quarter of its population. It would not be wrong to say that the Korean People's Army employing so many people is the largest military force in the world. Now see that the most powerful military machine in the world belongs to the United States, but the total military force of North Korea is 2.5% more than the force of the United States. But obviously, in today's modern world, size doesn't matter. Skill and technology matter more. If we talk about North Korea's nuclear program, in 2017, according to the Federation of American States, North Korea has 10 nuclear warheads. It is nothing compared to America, but as far as South Korea is concerned, North Korea has an edge over its neighbor. Because South Korea has no nuclear warheads. Yes, but it has the technology to make nuclear weapons. But till now it has not started working in this field. But this is the only point in which North Korea has the upper hand and nothing else. North Korea does not sell anything to the world and does not have a free market economy to allow imports from the outside world. This is the reason why today the world is not aware of anything other than this military force and nuclear program of North Korea. On the other hand, South Korea has one of the largest armed forces in the world. In 2018, South Korea's army consisted of 37 million soldiers, in which about 600,000 active forces and 3.1 million reserve personnel were involved. South Korea spends a large portion of its budget on defense. In 2019, South Korea's defense budget was ranked 10th in the world. It was about 44 billion US dollars. Also, South Korea has much more freedom than North Korea. Here people live like modern societies with free economy and civil rights. Because of the internet and the open flow of outside ideas, people here are used to open-minded thinking. South Korea is not a closed-minded country like North Korea. Here people have the freedom to live as they wish, travel abroad, and anyone can come here. A number of South Korean brands are famous around the world, the leading one being LG. Apart from this, Samsung mobile phones are also a Korean product, which is now well known to every mobile phone user in the world.